You should blow your nose.
That really helped last time when I had to do it 3 different times and
Good.
sync it all the time.
Welcome to Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast. And by the way, underwhelming is underrated. Just saying. Overwhelming isn't. Sometimes overwhelming is overwhelming.
Yes.
Underwhelming is seldom overwhelming. So,
I am confused.
Underrated. Just saying. It is.
Okay.
It's Dave, Rachel, and Forman. Used to do a radio show. Now we do a podcast. Here we are.
Here we are.
Thank you, by the way. We have passed another landmark download number. What was the downloads, Rachel?
Yeah, we're over 20,000 now.
We're
Whoa.
over 20,000?
17 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
happened
not
in
bad.
17 episodes.
Not bad, I guess.
Thank you very much to
What-
everybody listening. And if you've told a friend about us, thank you, because that's how we get listeners, is word of mouth, essentially. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
So that's how it works. It used to be that's true. No, Forman's still on the radio, still working in the radio business.
Right.
You and I are no longer working in the radio business, so I thought it would be fun to talk about the radio business.
Okay,
today.
let's do it.
Well, you know,
Have at it.
well,
Really.
I radio to me was all I ever really wanted to do when I was growing up. I'm a lot older, but when I was growing up and listening to the radio, I went, "Is that a job? Is that a
Yeah.
way to make a living? Because I would like to do that." It is a job. It's not the greatest way to make a living because when you first start, as you both know, you don't make very much money at all.
No,
Mm-mm.
not at the beginning.
In radio. But it's a great job because it's a lot of fun. But it's changed a lot in the many years since when I started. So here's the thing. Now I find myself, now that I'm not working on the radio, I still listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now driving in rush hour traffic every morning as the personal chauffeur to a 16-year-old.
Yes, of course.
That I
Bet you can't wait till she gets her license.
that's another story altogether.
Should I use my car? My
That's
black
right.
truck.
That's right.
No. Yeah,
So
no.
we listen. So I now drive really when I used to work. And one of the great things about morning radio is not getting up at 3 a.m. That's the worst thing about morning radio. But the best thing about morning radio is you never really have to worry about rush hour traffic because you're not in it. You're
Yeah.
already there.
It's awesome.
And then when you leave, there's not a lot of traffic. There's
Whenever I
people.
did have to drive in
Yeah.
rush hour traffic, I'd be like, where do all these people come from? Do they all live here? Like,
Well, I
where
If
guess-
do
there's
they
like
come from? They're
5
like out of the
extra
woodwork.
cars on the road at 4 a.m., I'm
Yeah.
so angry.
I
Yes.
know.
Like,
You
get out of this
so-
is my road. This is
Yeah.
my time. Get out of
Yeah,
the
what are
way.
you doing up? Shouldn't you be sleeping?
Just put the vehicle in cruise control and get to work.
Yes.
Just like get out of my way. Who are
Exactly.
you and why are you in my way? So
Yep.
it's very difficult for us, as you can understand. And I try to explain this to my wife, even though she says, "Yeah, sure." That when we're stuck in traffic, we don't like it because it's just not what we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm now driving in rush hour. That's a different topic altogether. But I'm also listening to some morning radio. Some of the other radios, because you don't get a chance to do that when you
No.
are working in the morning. You don't. You
That's
don't
true.
know. You meet maybe the other people that you compete against, but you don't really get a chance to listen to them. You just don't.
No.
So
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk about anyone specific. There
Aw.
are no. I'm not going to do that. There are lots of people working out there. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
Some are not.
Which
But
ones
they're
are
all-
better
you know
than
what?
which ones?
No,
I
know.
always found that everybody was kind to each other. We were all, I always felt we were all in it together. We're all out there doing the same thing.
Well,
so,
sure, but you also knew you know as well as I do, Rachel, that we would sit and listen to somebody. Someday we would go, well, let's just stream them and see if they're doing it, and then we would go, why are they doing that?
right.
What's
yeah.
wrong with them?
I mean,
Where
we're
did
always
that
going to
come
find
from?
fault with something they're doing to make
Exactly.
ourselves feel better about our own show.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume they were doing the same to us too. So,
Oh, sure.
to be fair.
I hope they were. It's entertaining.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Anyway, here's the thing about radio is that everybody now has it's so different from many, many years ago when you would have a country station and then you would have a pop station
Mhm.
and then maybe a talk station, maybe, or a news thing.
All split up by genre.
Now we got so many different formats and so many. That's one of the reasons that I actually liked working country, because we tended to be what we said we were. Now, you'd say, you can say your new country, you can say country favorites, you can say any of those things. You could take out of that whatever you want. We label ourselves like that in radio just to try to walk a fine line where when we say we're country favorites, you'll go, yes, that's what I'm seeking, my favorite country.
Right.
But then you realize after several months,
these aren't all my favorites.
They're not all my favorites.
Yeah. Who's picking these favorites of mine?
These are country favorites, and that's a very, very, that's a blurry line. You could say country favorites and kind of get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Gee, and then you might realize, why doesn't any country station actually have a name? They're all just country followed by the number.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, at least other stations have names. Country just says, this is the type of music we play at 103.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
But I always liked call letters. I always thought call letters were because I was brought up in an era where you had great call letters.
Yeah, back in the day, it was a big deal. Everybody was
CKLW,
right.
CJBK. I mean, those call letters were
super JBK.
No kidding. That was a great caller. And then we ended up with the radio station that we worked with for a number of years, which had it wasn't our choice to change it. But BX93.
So good.
So good. I mean, so good, right?
Like
you
listening who weren't the country fan, who didn't listen to us before, still knew of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People knew what it was.
A staple,
we knew what they did. And it jumped out at you. Anyway, pure country, it's, that's what they play. It's pure country. We're not lying to you.
They really like that George Strait album and movie.
But the one I really like, I gravitate towards now, maybe it's because I'm a little older, I don't know, but I'm listening to the radio station, and there are many, I don't know what, they've changed. There used to be a Bob, and then there was a Jack, and then
they're
Bob,
all names.
Yeah, they're
Dave.
all, and there was there were Daves at one point, which I thought was great. And now I think we decided we're not going to do, or the old people we worked for had Bob, and then they changed it to Move. What the hell does that mean? I have no idea.
Is that what they changed the Bobs to?
Is that what it is? Move or bounce?
Bounce.
Maybe it's bounce.
Bounce, maybe.
I have no idea.
But what does that mean?
Move is basically easy rock. Bounce is easy rock for smaller towns.
See, I don't know. I don't know.
Very much.
I feel like bounce should be dance music because you're bouncing.
Well, exactly. Why did at least when you say pure country or country,
it is as advertised.
We're playing you country. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting country.
Yeah.
This station here in town, and look, the music's not terrible, but there's and the guy says it all the time. We play what we want.
They want.
Yeah, we're playing what we want. What are you going to do about it? I mean, it's very
change the station.
Yeah, we play. That is their handle. We play. Now, what that means when that whole thing started was they were trying to a little behind the scenes. They're trying to create a radio station with variety. That's what we're saying to you. You're tired of hearing the same old songs. So we play what we want. It's like a mixtape. I mean, you never know what you're going to get. But
I know that I'm not going to get any repeats during my workday.
Well, I hope not. Anyway.
And I would like to play the 925 challenge.
Do they still do that?
Probably. Sounds like they would.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so after a while, I am sort of to the point where I literally said, the guy says to me the other day, we're playing what we want. And I said, you know what? Yeah, you are. You are playing what you want. But you're seldom playing what I want. Like, do you not realize that by saying we play what we want, that's basically saying to me, yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, you're leaving it by saying we play what we want. You're really leaving out a key element, and that is the audience.
Yes.
And what they want.
How about you play what we want?
Yes.
Right?
I don't care what you want. Yes. Play what I want. I'm listening.
How about just once you play something I want?
Yes. I
Okay.
hear you. I agree.
There. Anyway, I just
They
thought
play what they want. Do they even do studies about what other
Oh.
people might want? Because that indicates to me that they don't. And here's a little secret: most people do.
yeah, play
Most
what we
people
want,
do.
or
Well, they do studies about what listeners want. Right?
well,
That's what
I-
they do.
don't make it easy for me to say to you, I know you're playing what you want. How about you play what I want? How about you do that? And while we're at it, I don't want to get into it for too long, but you got to stop calling yourself fresh when you're not.
You're only fresh for so long,
Yeah.
right? If you've been fresh for more than a couple
Yeah.
years,
Stop
it's
it.
not fresh anymore.
Yeah.
Here's Madonna.
Followed by Lady Gaga.
A little Papa Don't Preach for you. Happy Wednesday.
Happy
Keeping things
Wednesday.
fresh. Popping fresh.
Happy Wednesday. Good morning.
Miley Cyrus Flowers up next.
Get all your spooky traffic and weather.
On the day.
That's
Your
right.
spooky traffic.
Top of the morning to you. Here's the St. Patty's Day traffic.
Oh, it's Rachel O'Gilbert.
Oh, it's
Honey-
talk like a
Honey,
pirate.
say-
Nick.
Oh, Talk Like a Pirate Day I did love to participate in.
Yeah, but you sucked at it.
I don't care. I don't care. I
All
didn't, but I don't care.
All right.
Did you
okay.
see that pirate movie?
What pirate movie?
It's
It-
rated
rated
R.
Off. No,
Oh, you
damn
fell
it.
for it.
You fell for it. You fell for it. This is due to underwhelming demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. New sponsor to welcome to the podcast today.
Yes, thank you very much to Melissa Photography. We're glad to have you on board. Melissa is a photographer based out of Belmont, and she does areas like photography all over, from Huron County to Elgin County. She's all over the place. So she's not just located in Elgin, but she does photos everywhere. I've checked out her Instagram page, and it's awesome. Her stuff's great, actually. So check her out. You can check her out on Instagram at Melissa Photofolio. Okay.
Got it.
Facebook is, I guess you can look up Melissa Photography or facebook.com/mphotopage. And her website is melissaphotography77.mypixieset.com.
There you go.
So she does all kinds of stuff.
But it's
Wedding.
really it's a lot of like real life candid more things like
Yeah,
like,
that's-
where you're
that's what she
expressing
says.
emotions and laughing and telling stories. Not
Mhm.
not a lot of posed things that seem very
like
cold.
that.
Not overly posed. That's what
Yeah.
she says. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
She does a lot of baby, family, maternity. She actually has, if you are looking for maternity stuff, she has dresses you can wear, which is important because we don't have those when we're, looking for maternity stuff. So
Mhm.
if the photographer has it, then that's great. She does wedding. She also does wedding planning if you're looking for a photographer and a planner in one.
Oh.
But she does all kinds of stuff. She also does photo restoration. So if you have like some old photos that you want restored, she'll do that too.
And printing,
do that.
like canvas,
Amazing.
greeting cards, printing
Cool.
pictures, professional services.
And by the way,
She's great. You should check her out.
yeah, it's early in the new year, but apparently Melissa has she does wedding photography, obviously, and she has dates available. So worth getting a hold of Melissa. And thank you
Absolutely.
for Melissa for joining us. So again, what's the website again?
Her website is Melissa Photography 77, the numbers, .mypixieset.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can get a hold of her by emailing photographyandplanning@gmail.com.
Perfect.
How about that? Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Melissa. Thank you for your support. And check out Melissa.
Support her. She
Yeah.
supports us.
Yes,
She's
of course.
capturing all of life's best moments.
Her stuff's really great, honestly. She's got, you check out her Instagram, Melissa Photofolio. She's great. It's really awesome stuff, actually. So, looks great. Thank
right.
you. All right, are we ready for a little Dear Dave and Rachel?
Oh,
and
oh,
Forman now.
Oh, yeah. Dear Dave, Rachel, and Forman. Almost. Hang on, Forman. We've got her.
Oh, boy.
One, two.
Crack it.
Going to get into life's little problems. We may need a beverage.
A beer.
Always should have done this on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be allowed
Here we go.
at 8 a.m.
You know, I saw this one on Springer the other day.
Controversy, drama, opinions, debate.
Dear Dave and Rachel.
Dear Dave and Rachel.
Okay, here we are this week. Dear Dave, Rachel, and Forman. I was offered a job at my husband's company, and although I think it would be great, he's not excited about it, to say the least. It's a small company, but we would be working in different departments. I would be in marketing and he's in sales. We would have some interaction, but not all the time. My husband is mad that I applied and didn't tell him. He's even more upset that I got the job. He says we're together every evening and weekend and that I should take my talent elsewhere. He doesn't want to be carpooling and having lunch together every day. It's too close for comfort, according to him, and it makes him feel like he doesn't have any independence. Despite that, I'm thrilled that I got the job. It's a great company and a great position, and I want to accept it. But will it be the end of our marriage? What do you think?
I would be thrilled too. I think that would be fantastic.
Like if your wife worked with you?
Yes.
Couldn't disagree
Really?
with you more.
What?
Wow. I mean,
You
I
think-
think look, I don't think my wife, and I love my wife and she loves me, but I don't think she wants me anywhere near her when she's working. Just as I don't really want her around. When I was working, I don't think it would have been advisable to have her around me either.
Yeah.
And you did work with your husband, Rachel.
I did. Yeah. And it was that we had a long discussion before we agreed to do that because he worked there first and I got a job. So it was very similar to this, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that I was applying, though, and I told him, and I was pretty much going to get the job. We knew that because I was the only candidate, really. So I applied and I got it.
That's how I got a position on student council.
Yeah, it was just me. Well, as far as I know, I don't know. But so we did work together side by side, and the boss told us, okay, it's fine if you guys want to work together, but one of you can never be the other one's boss. So neither of you will ever move up. And we were like, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I only worked there for 2 years, but it was fine. And he's still there, and he is the boss now. So I could never go back. But it was okay because we didn't see each other a lot during the day. We did make sure that we had boundaries. Like we would tell other coworkers, if you have an issue with the other one, don't come to me, right?
Yeah.
Like don't bitch I'm not dealing with that for you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, so you need to deal with them as if I am not their spouse, right? Like you don't come to me for any of that. We're not getting in the middle of it. So, and it was fine. It was actually good.
Ashley and I were actually talking about this and decided that I could definitely work for her, no problem. But I don't think we couldn't be equals because, if you had to work on something together and you were equals and neither one of you wanted to give in, because you don't have to give in, that could cause some problems.
Yeah, that's
Could she work for you though?
I don't think she would. But I would love it. I would love it.
Really?
Although I can say that I've been on the other end of this where I know two people who were in different departments that worked together. They were boyfriend and girlfriend at the same radio station. And he was totally fine. But if other things were happening that didn't involve her, she may involve herself to try and stand in for him and say, hey, well, actually, he would think this or he wouldn't do that or he wouldn't have said those things.
Yeah.
And start and cause more problems when there was no reason for it.
Right. I think you really need to have those boundaries because if you don't have that from the get-go, then that's where it goes wrong.
Well, and that's,
sure.
I mean, I think
But in this case, the guy doesn't want her there at all.
Well, here's the thing. I think when it comes to going to work and doing all of that stuff, I mean, I think being together is great, but I also think being together is great for a relationship. So is being apart. You need space.
Yeah.
Everybody needs their space. Everybody needs their work people in their life. It's nice to have work people.
You're
in your
allowed
life.
to have a separate life,
Yes,
at
but as
times
long
from
as
your
it's just-
spouse,
yes,
your work
exactly.
life.
So I don't understand why you wouldn't tell your husband you were applying for the job.
Yeah, that's a bit of
That's-
a red flag to me.
That's
Like,
weird.
I'm
Something
applying
not
to a
right
job
there.
at your company. What?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be mad. Like, obviously you knew he wouldn't be thrilled with it because you didn't tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why is he not thrilled? Why is he so against it?
I think
That
that's
she had to
also
keep
a
it a
red
secret.
flag.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I don't know. He doesn't want to be around her that much. Like that's kind of ugh. Like
It
I get
seems-
you want to have your own time, but I'm curious as to why.
Well, we've put this out on our social media, and it seems similar to Sandy's experience. Who said, "I went to work at the same company as my husband, and we worked in opposite ends of the building. Although there were no red flags for me, as he encouraged it, we are now divorced because he had something going on with another coworker."
How can he do that at work when you're there?
And encouraged you to work there.
Wow.
Like, obviously, you're going to find out. If any two people are having an affair at work, everybody knows. People find out eventually. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
That is dumb. On
See,
his
and
part.
I had
No wonder he's your ex.
I had a coworker who got involved and then married someone at the who was, I think, like a part-time person, and then there were issues. Like, there were issues, and it wasn't between the two of them. It involved her coming to his defense when it wasn't really. It had nothing to do with her.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's messy.
that's problematic, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think to work
where-
together, you have to be really aware of what could cause issues, right? And
Yeah.
if you stick your nose in somewhere and people don't like it, that's what they're going to blame the two of you.
What about Dion, who does agree with us that I think it's a red flag that he got upset? I get it. I was nervous too when I started working with my husband, but I admit I love it now. It's only brought us closer together.
Well, how about that?
Okay.
Hey, you know,
I didn't mind working with my husband. I really did. And I think in our case, we were trained to do the job the same way. So there wasn't a lot of arguing about how to do the job. We did end up talking about work a lot because that's all we did. It was work together and then see each other on weekends. And we didn't have kids yet either.
Yeah, I mean,
It can work.
No, I'm not.
But-
I'm not suggesting it can't work. It's not. I don't think it's the ideal situation. But again,
Right.
you'll have people who say, "Yeah, like you, where it did work for you," or someone saying it brought us closer together. I just feel like
Mhm.
I'm not on his side. But I wonder why she didn't tell him that she was applying for a job. There are red flags on both sides here. That's what I think.
Yeah,
so.
she hasn't told
I
us the whole
agree.
story.
Yeah.
I think because of that, I would say maybe don't take the job because it might end your marriage later. If there's red flags on both sides, I
Yeah.
feel like that's not going down.
But
a
maybe
path
the
that you
marriage
want.
should end. Maybe it needs to end anyway, and this will help it happen, and you'll be happier afterwards.
Maybe that's what you want. I don't know. I mean, if that's okay with you, then take the job.
I guess.
Somebody, Kelly said to us, "I worked with my husband. I got him the job at our place. We hardly saw each other, and it was nice carpooling with him. So it worked out for her."
Look, the trip to and from work, I think, would be that wouldn't bother me. That would be
Yeah,
fine.
Jeremy and I did
sure.
that. We were
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We were okay.
That would be fun.
You know,
I would
saves gas
quite
money.
enjoy that. You could get all your work chit chat out of the way on the way home, and then you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. You can
Yeah.
argue about whether or not the radio is playing a song that you want or what they want.
Mhm.
Is it fresh enough? Sure. Good point. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, a podcast, of course, with Dave, Rachel, and Forman, and a big shout out to one of our sponsors, Calves for a Cause.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a calf, buy it from this auction because all the proceeds go to the Children's Health Foundation here in London, which is amazing. Daryl and his wife Sarah have started Calves for a Cause a couple years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And they raised $71,000 the first year. Last year they raised $35,000, so we've got to surpass that this year.
Would like
So
to, yeah.
the auction date is April 5th, and it's hosted at and during the Canadian Dairy Expo in Stratford. But it's online, okay? They have a Facebook page. You can just look up Calves for a Cause, and they have an Instagram page, which is Calves for a Cause with dots in between each word.
Yeah, you could. I mean, this is like pick out, bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2 on some of these.
Exactly.
Some of these calves are on here. They've got everything. They've got all their lineage and all that stuff. Some of these are like junior champion of Oxford County was a calf from last year. I mean, these calves are very superior calves.
Yeah.
Turns
Well,
out
it's an auction.
Forman,
And it's for a cause.
and turns out Forman knows a lot about calves. Who
But
knew?
how
Didn't
much do
think
you
I
know
would?
about horses, Foreman?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's not go
It's
down
not
that.
foals for a cause.
Yeah.
Fools. Okay. Calves for a cause. So the auction is April 5th, and it's during the Canadian Dairy Expo in Stratford, and it's online. So you can check that out online, and it ends soft close April 5th at noon. So you want to get on before then, okay? The reason they started this, Daryl and Sarah, is because they spent 4 months in Children's Hospital with their son Brooks right after he was born. He spent 2 months in the NICU, and then he was diagnosed with congenital central hypoventilation syndrome and was also diagnosed with a secondary disease called Hirschsprung's disease. And then he was moved to the PCCU at Children's, and he had more care there that was kind of more specialized to what he needed. But they've spent a lot of time at Children's, and they wanted to give back. And we know that it's a great cause. We've supported Children's Hospital a lot over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So this Calves for a Cause auction will support the Children's Health Foundation.
Well, it's a great cause because it's a great hospital that does great work, and we all
Yeah.
know that because we. So April 5th, and again, you can find them. What are the social media handles again?
On Facebook, just look up Calves for a Cause.
Got it.
On Instagram, it's Calves for a Cause as well. Same, but there's dots in between each. So at calves.for.a.cause.
Okay, April 5th. Don't miss it.
They're calving in from Brazil.
Wow.
Amazing.
Exotic calves.
They are.
Yeah, I like that. Brazilian calves.
Not like a Brazilian whack.
Like a Brazilian wax.
Well, if you're gonna show the calf and want to win a ribbon, then you gotta tidy it up.
Get
Tidy
them
up
all
the calf.
cleaned and
Yeah,
groomed.
sure. All right, we're back. This is due to underwhelming demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman.
Do you think you would know? Do you think you do use it? The phrase most used by successful couples in their relationship.
Successful couples.
The phrase, the most successful
There's
couple.
one phrase that unites them all.
Yes, the phrase used most in successful relationships has been narrowed down by a pair of married psychologists. These doctors have been married for 35 years,
Okay.
and they've been studying relationship stability in 40,000 partners.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, what phrase are you using most often in your relationship?
I love you.
No. I'll do the dishes.
That's not it. I'll do the dishes. That's yes. Don't
Wrong.
worry, honey. I'll
Sad.
vacuum.
I'll vacuum
I'll
for you.
clean the toilets.
Let me clean the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Those all should qualify, but they're
Don't
not
you
the
Let
think
me
most
do
used.
the laundry.
Yeah. Hey, give me that garbage. I want to take it out.
Right.
Don't worry, I'll shovel the driveway.
That's right. I
Okay.
I will look after that for you.
Yes.
No, the one thing all couples have in common is that they want to be appreciated. And so the number one phrase used by those in successful relationships is thank you.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Okay.
I think sometimes you don't say thank you enough.
Thank you enough. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I try and say thank you a lot when each of us would do a chore. I think I say thank you more than he does.
I
So-
that does not surprise me.
I
one
assume
bit.
so.
I would have assumed that.
Yeah,
Why?
Because does the term high maintenance mean anything to you?
But I say thank you to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Oh.
Just to
'Cause
rub
he's
it in
doing
about how
more.
often he
That's
doesn't say
right.
it to you.
Yes.
Because I don't say it very much either. Because I feel like something like, okay, you cleaned up the kitchen or whatever. I mean, do I say thank you to that? Because I generally don't. Because
Yeah.
you're not doing it for me. It's not like, oh,
Doing
I
it
did
for the
this for you.
family.
Yeah, it's just something that
Right.
happened.
Of course.
Yeah,
Like I live here too. Thanks for cleaning that up.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say that
You know, Jeremy gripes about doing the garbages, and I'm like, thanks for taking out the garbages. You know,
Mhm.
Or thanks for
should
doing
say-
the dishes?
Well, I would always try, because I really, and now, by the way, I did say this when I walked away from working on the radio, that I wanted to learn to cook a little bit more, and I have been doing more cooking. I'm not really good at it, but I've been doing more cooking, and
Good
then
for you.
I find myself that I'm the caretaker of the home now, so I do a lot of that, and I don't even like. I think I had cleaned the place one day last week. I think I had gone top to bottom or whatever, and nobody noticed. Nobody said thank you. Nobody, but that's okay, because I think that was happening a lot when I was busy doing other things, and I didn't notice. And I even now, because my wife needs, and my daughter went to a semi-formal. I'm the king the king of the ironing in the house.
Are you?
It's a skill.
Really? I didn't know
it's
that.
a skill that I acquired from my mother a long
Wow.
time ago, and so
I
In
will
all
drop
these
off
years-
some shirts.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, I had no idea that you were
Yes.
such a good
Oh yeah,
ironer.
no. There's nothing that So I have been looking after some pants for my wife, because she has to look the part when she goes into work.
Okay.
And we had a semi-formal, and the dress arrived in a box, and I took one look at it, and I said, that needs to be pressed. And
Let me just take care of that for
my
you.
16-year-old
King of the iron.
my 16-year-old said the same thing she says to me pretty much every day. What? So yeah, I looked after that.
I literally iron nothing. Like if I can't just dry it and the wrinkles come out, then I don't iron it.
I kind of noticed that. Anyway, so I think I ironed 2 or 3 things for. I saw some clothes sitting somewhere, and I went, "These need to be ironed. That's why they're here." So I looked after it, and I didn't hear anything for a couple of days, and then out of the blue, Jana said, "By the way, thanks for ironing my clothes. You saved me a lot of time doing that." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, no problem."
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
it's nice when
of
someone thanks you
course.
for your efforts
So I would
and
do,
notices.
Yeah, well, so I would do
Sure.
that when, when she was doing most of the cooking and all of that stuff. I would try to make a point of saying, "That was really good, thanks."
Right.
Because I think that's what you want to hear when you feed people. You want them
Yes,
to like
It was
it.
good.
Yeah.
and
Thank you for feeding me.
it. Yes. So just
Yeah, I think we try and say thank you. We do. Yeah.
So I should.
Yeah.
you're-
You don't,
you're
Forman?
not-
Well, I mean, I took someone to task on my other little radio show because I did bring this up as well, and she went on about how her and her fiance do say thank you to each other every day, and they say I appreciate you every day.
Oh,
Bullshit.
Okay. I don't think I'm going that far.
wow. Forman, you don't even have to say thank you, because as we know, the only thing you need to do
True.
is not cheat on Ashley and you're fine.
Good
Yeah.
point.
You
Yeah.
could cry it off and no one cares.
No,
That's right.
Because apparently she's quite
You,
content.
as long as you're not doing that one
Content.
thing, you're
Content.
good.
You're
Yeah,
content.
Still content.
Yes.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. And just before we go, shout out to our sponsors.
Melissa Photography.
Yes.
Yes, and Calves for a Cause. The auction happening April 5th, by the way, if you forgot. Look them up because they support us. We hope that you'll support them.
Yes, we certainly do. So
Thank you very much to
and
them.
we appreciate their support. We got an email. Oh, you have one. Rachel, you got an email? Somebody, if you want to email us, by the way, Dave Rachel Forman at gmail.com. Send us an email. You can also, if you want to talk to us, you can do it with Messenger on Facebook, right, Forman?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. You're basically texting us if you use Messenger, or send us a voice memo so we can play it during the show.
We would love that.
Yeah, we
yeah.
could.
Or,
know.
if you have a Dear Dave Rachel Foreman query about your relationship, we'll gladly take those by Messenger or email as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
however you want to
Sure.
send that.
Yeah, Lisa
Or
had sent us a
Instagram.
message, a really nice one, that just said, you guys are so awesome together. I've listened to Dave since I was a kid, like 100 years ago.
Thank you. Thank you
Haha.
very much. Thanks for that.
You three are meant to be, and I'm loving your podcast. Keep it up from all of us original BX93 Kids.
Yeah.
Aw.
See, great. What great caller.
Thank you so much.
Great
Thank you for
caller.
listening.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They play what you. Oh, they used to play what you wanted.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know what they play now.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
comment.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you for your support and the downloads, and
Yeah, 20,000. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and tell your friends.